the Arctic Circle, where the wild beauty of Finland meets the majestic landscapes of Norway, lies an unforgettable journey waiting to unfold. Experience this exhilarating motorcycle adventure with me as we set out to reach the legendary North Cape on the longest day of the year. My journey began amidst the tranquil forests of Finland, where the whispering pines and rolling hills stretch as far as the eye can see. For 3 days, I traversed over 1,000 kilometers on lonely gravel roads, weaving through the dense woodland and tracing the border with Russia. It was a test of endurance and skill as I immersed myself into the raw beauty of the Arctic landscape. Crossing the Arctic Circle, I find myself in a realm where the daylight never ends. Here, the sun hangs high in the sky, painting the world in hues of gold and amber, as if time itself has stood still. It's a surreal experience to ride beneath the never-ending light, to lose myself in the vastness of the northern wilderness. In the second part, my sight is set to witness nature's grandeur at its peak. And when I finally reach my destination, standing on the northernmost point of Europe, I'm greeted by the mesmerizing sight of the midnight sun casting its golden glow upon the icy waters below. With the North Cape behind me, I turn my wheels southward, tracing the rugged coastline of Norway. Along the way, I encounter wonders beyond imagination, from the majestic peaks and mesmerizing landscapes of Lofoten Islands to witnessing the world's strongest tidal current. It is the middle of the night, shortly after 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm leaving my accommodation. These small little red cabins there. The initial plan was to leave a little later than this, but between the excitement and all the motorcycle sounds coming down from the North Cape, I just decided to go up at 1:30, get out of bed, and make my way up there. I have to drop the key off now, and then, oh, look at this. This is beautiful. Little fog sitting there. Oh, this is nice. And maybe let the sort of big crowds die down a little bit first. This is what the area looks like at 2 in the middle of the night. Crazy. Sun's sitting dead north right now. Oh, all the camper vans are still there. Wow. Now, I was told yesterday by another couple of the camper that they have the summer solstice festival coming up. It's Thursday today and it starts Friday. And apparently it's supposed to be a big deal, so people are already saving their spot up on the parking lot. Oh, the sun looks so cool, the rocks. The sun is so low. It's basically like a golden hour for a long time. Oh, it's not that empty. That's funny. Everyone getting the image out. There's another motorcycle. It was truly an incredible experience to visit the North Cape on the longest day of the year, just after midnight. At 2 o'clock in the morning, the sun hung high in the sky, casting a mesmerizing glow from the north and enveloping the landscape in a soft golden light. Experiencing the North Cape in 15 degrees Celsius with sunshine and no wind, even in the summer, is exceptionally rare,
and I felt incredibly fortunate for the perfect timing. Standing at the northernmost point of Europe filled me with a profound sense of awe at the vastness of the natural world. I spent 3 hours absorbing the atmosphere, and I was grateful to share this remarkable moment with the people I encountered during my time at the North Cape. Overall, visiting the North Cape during the midnight sun was a once-in-a-lifetime experience that left a lasting impression on me, filled with moments of pure wonder and beauty.
I spent a good 3 hours here at the Nordkapp. There were other motorcycle riders and we were just chatting it up, and there were a lot of people coming, a lot of motorcycle riders to take the trophy photo. This one behind me here, as did I. So now I'm heading back, and I've got probably the longest ride of the day. It's 9 hours, 600 kilometers, and it's 5:30 in the morning now. So I'll be on my way, and the other guys I was talking to, they're leaving right now. Let's hit the road. Nice, very nice. It's early in the morning. There's still very little going on here. It's the pass I came up. It's the same way down that I came up yesterday. And it's nice not to sharing it with other vehicles right now. The hour and a half sleep's definitely showing now. After fight fatigue, just had to pull over, eat a Snickers, put some sugar in the system. It's another 340 kilometers to go, 5 hours, 50 minutes. It's still a pretty long day for me. And it's not very late, but I hope that the roads further down will get a bit more interesting, because this is straight roads.
So I'm having a little gas station stop, and it's the first place I found that has a self-wash zone. I cleaned the chain off a little bit as good as I could without chain cleaner, because all that dust from the Tetrak's still on there, and it's really hard to lubricate the chain. Also, I grabbed some breakfast because I didn't have any proper breakfast yet, and it is what is it? Probably 9 o'clock in the morning. Still have 330 kilometers to go. 40 kilometers past Alta on the way to Tromsø, which is another 150 to the right. But look at this beauty. Wow. This is cool. I mean, it is definitely more spectacular this country than Finland was. The only thing that's still bothering me, I'm still getting tired very quickly on the bike. I just pulled over for this absolutely amazing view here. I'm at almost 400 meters of elevation, and it gives you a nice view over the fjord. Still lots of patches of snow, but it's 22 degrees right now. It's warm. It's really warm. Since entering Norway, the scene has gotten more and more spectacular, and this is definitely awesome. It's really hard to capture something like this on camera. It's so beautiful. With the snow on top and the mountains sticking straight out of the water, that is so cool. And of course, it's a beautiful day. It's 23 degrees. It's really warm here. And the area I'm going to, which is Tromsø, had rain yesterday. So today it's like this, but yesterday it was quite rainy there. Granted, people that are going the other way, they're coming from Tromsø to go to the Nordkapp. And they said it was not so good yesterday. The Lyngen Alps, situated in northeastern Troms County, lie east of the city Tromsø. The dramatic mountains rise abruptly from the Norwegian Sea, and the highest peak reaches an impressive elevation of 1,834 meters above sea level.
I have a connecting ferry that leaves at 2:30. According to my GPS, if I stay on track, I'll get there a few minutes before that. The next ferry will leave in an hour, so be good to catch this one. That'll also be the last ferry for the day. That is a short drive from there, and I'll finally hit my hotel. And it looks like mine is sitting there already. I can still get on there. Norwegian timing again. Nice motorcycle.
Where are you from?
Germany, Berlin. Where are you from?
Italy.
Italy I knew, but where in Italy? Where?
Near Milano, Venice.
Okay, yeah. Very cool.
Lago di Garda.
Lago di Garda, yeah, I know that. Yeah, it's very nice. I reached the town of Tromsø, and it's quite a big town. It's got a huge bridge crossing the water there. I'll be going over the bridge and heading to the old town, at least near the old town. So, as opposed to some of the other locations, this is actually a city location. I couldn't really find anything close by that was in sort of smaller accommodation, so I ended up picking a hotel that's smack in the middle of the city. And depending how I feel, I may have a quick look around. I'm very, very tired. I'm so glad that the day is over. I'm struggling to stay awake, to be honest. It's time to get off this motorcycle, take a shower, grab a beer, and then take it from there.
I briefly ventured out to the nearest burger place before calling it an early night.
Just left Tromsø, and I have two important ferry connections to catch now. The next one leaves at 8:30. At the moment, the estimated time for arrival is 20. It's 7:30 now. And then once I take that ferry, that takes about an hour long, take that ferry and arrive. The next, and that's the big ferry that will take me to Andenes. It's a 1 hour and 40-minute ferry. There's only 3 times a day that that ferry leaves. The first one leaves at 11. So I have to make sure that I can get out of the gates quick. Maybe gain a few minutes so I get there on time. And then I'll be crossing over to Andenes. And from there on out, probably another 2 hours of riding. That then puts me very close to Lofoten Islands, which is then the goal for tomorrow. So hopefully this is going to work out the way I've planned it. Because if it does, it will allow me a little bit more time towards the back end, and I can have, take my time and go a bit slower and stop a bit longer. This is cool as it looks. It's about 13 degrees. So it's a nice, cool morning.
Guys, I'm on my first ferry ride, and this is gonna take close to an hour. Let's see if I get there on time to meet the next ferry. This is a very beautiful location. I mean, absolute scenic. See in the background here. Quite nice. It's about 14 degrees, and it's not very windy. It will be, I think, on the ferry once we start going, but look at this. This is so nice.
All right, guys. So I'm off from the ferry. Exactly at 9:30. And the other ferry leaves at 11, and it takes exactly an hour and a half normal riding time to get there. So it's gonna be a close call. These ferry rides are just part of the experience. It's really cool. Gets you off the bike for a little bit, watch the coastline go by. It's pretty cool. So that's exactly what I was talking about. So it's telling me 11 o'clock estimated arrival time. That means I need to hurry it up a bit. Got a good hour to drive still, and we've managed to gain back 8 minutes, but there's a lot of construction, a lot of parts where slow down. I have to slow down. Yeah, that's why I don't like to ride behind other vehicles or other riders. I mean, they just stop for the camper. Visibility is minimal. I'm sitting smack in the middle of a cloud. I am close to the ferry, see all these vehicles, that means the ferry's offloading. Hello? I made it! I wasn't quite sure if I was gonna make the ferry, but it looks good. Where are you from? Germany, Deutschland, können wir Deutsch reden? Berliner.
not very interesting or challenging, but
But it's not that much capacity on, you have to say. I'm sure they get everyone loaded. Hi. Good, how are you?
All the motorcycles in line successfully boarded the ferry, but unfortunately there wasn't enough space to accommodate all of the larger vehicles. For the next hour and 40 minutes I enjoyed my ferry ride to Andoy.
Here we are. Hour 40 minutes later, more people waiting. Oh, there's a lot of people here. So they made it a bit harder to cut a line here for the motorcycle riders. So now there is no rush really. I have no more ferry to catch. On a spectacular drive in Anduja, I think that's how you pronounce it.
Andoya is the northernmost island in the Vestrålen archipelago and is positioned approximately 300 kilometers inside the Arctic Circle. Høyvika Beach is situated on Andoya right next to the more accessible Stave Beach and is considered one of the most beautiful beaches on this island. Vestrålen bears a resemblance to another renowned archipelago in Norway, the Lofoten. However, unlike its more crowded counterpart, Vestrålen boasts a quieter atmosphere while still showcasing breathtaking coastal scenery and exceptional drives. As I continued my journey further south, the low-hanging clouds contributed to the atmosphere while driving through this stunning scenery, and thankfully, it remained dry with no rain.
There's some people take the, I think it's E6 or E4. That's the straight cut down the west coast. I'm sure that's nice too, but not like this. This takes a few days extra, but you get to ride these small boats and just do a little bit of island hopping. Islands that are basically off the west coast, north of the Lofoten Islands. And then get this. Oh, this island I'm on right now is called Languya. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. So I had to take a small bridge from Anduja to Languya. This is where I am. This is also where my accommodation is, sort of the south end of it. And I should get there in just under half an hour to make this a bit of a shorter day today than it was yesterday. Well, I'm very close. It's the brown one here. Let's see what it looks like from the inside.
This is probably the nicest location I've stayed at so far on this trip. At least a modern, nice place. And after a simpler accommodation just a couple of days ago, which was just like a simple cabin, this is a nice change of pace.
This is the third day on my way further south, and I'm just leaving my hotel. It was quite a nice location actually. It was a brand new hotel, quite nicely designed, and I think I got a pretty good deal still because they're just starting out. They're just open for months now. So today is a relatively short ride. 236 kilometers, a ferry that I need to catch in about half an hour, so I should be okay. And I'm going to Lofoten Islands, so the moment I take the ferry, I will cross over to Lofoten Islands, and I made to stay a bit shorter so I have a bit more time to look around. Now, I had a lot of good weather so far up until this point, but the forecast is definitely showing a lot of bad weather in the next few days. Also, it's gotten quite a bit colder, so it's 13 degrees. It's going to be a bit colder once I'm on the Lofoten Island. I think the daily high is 11 degrees. So it's a huge difference from the 24, 25 I was getting in the northern part of Norway and in Finland when I made my way up here. It's crazy to think how far north I still am. So if I would take the straight route, like the fastest route to get to Stavanger, which isn't in a very south part of Norway, but where my ferry leaves, that's still more than a day ride. or about 1,700 kilometers from where I am right now. So that's the same distance if I go from Berlin to Barcelona. That's the same kilometer distance. So it's crazy to think that, because if you look at the map, it's really hard to comprehend how far away all of this is still. I'm still well above the Arctic Circle. Hello? I'm on ferry pay. Good. So, parked in. As you can see, it's raining. I'll be going through some rain here. And as I'm heading south on Lofoten, there's a good chance it's gonna stop to rain again. But I just looked at the radar, and this is the area that still has rain coming. It's coming from the mainland to the island. And it's starting sort of in the north tip where I am right now. So I will go through it a little bit and then down the coastline south, and I'm hoping for less rain. So I'll keep going until it stops.
Henningsvær, nestled in the heart of Norway's Lofoten archipelago, is a picturesque fishing village renowned for its charming atmosphere and stunning natural beauty. It is perched on a cluster of small islands surrounded by towering mountains and crystal clear waters. Its quaint red and white wooden buildings and narrow streets offer visitors a glimpse into the region's rich maritime heritage. What makes Henningsvær truly special is its unique football field situated on a dedicated island, making it one of the kind in the world.
Henningsvær is definitely worth a little detour from the E10. Would be a nice place to spend some time, but not sure if the weather is pushing down south, so I'm gonna keep going to see if I can see some of the other parts without the rain. Because this was quite nice actually. It's just a little overcast. There's enough light. Here's a nice overview. That's where I came from, over there. Oh wow. Yeah, this is just a short drive, but it's gotta be one of the most scenic ones so far. Been on tour for almost 5 hours, and in hindsight, another warming layer would have been a good idea, because I'm actually quite cold. I mean, I found the gloves, both hands are not the big deal. I can get heated grips on if I need to. But overall, I'm a bit chilly now today. I was gonna say just overcast, but I shouldn't be expecting any more rain.
Nussfjord is considered one of Lofoten's hidden gems and is renowned for being one of Norway's oldest and most well-preserved fishing villages. It is surrounded by breathtaking natural landscapes and located only 6 kilometers off the E10, the main road traversing through Lofoten. The village itself is made up of a collection of fishermen's cabins and work buildings, and it is home to a small community of permanent residents, along with the accommodations and amenities of the Nussfjord Arctic Resort.
The views are just spectacular here. Everywhere you look. I mean, there's a reason why the Lofoten Islands are such a highlight. These bridges always give you a really nice view. Somewhere back there is the town of Rheine. It's probably one of the most photographed parts of Lofoten. It's the southern tip here. All its buildings. There's this crazy smell of, I think it's fish, you know, they're drying up on the racks. think that's some kind of a fish product. You definitely smell it. Stockfish, something, whatever that's called.
Well, this is what that fish smell is that I was smelling the entire time. A bit close up to one of those wooden racks behind me here. And it's just fish heads. I don't know what they do with them. I have to read up on it. But there's like hundreds and thousands of fish heads hanging here. Yeah, that's the smell. The picturesque fishing village Rhine, with the scenic landscape of Rhinefjord and the small islands, is scattered with red fishermen's cottages and embraced in between steep mountains that rise straight up from the sea. Renowned as one of Norway's most photographed villages, Rhine consists of several small islands which are interconnected by bridges. Among these, the island of Hamnøy stands out as an iconic photo stop, particularly known for its row of red fishermen cabins, which can be found in countless photographs. Opting to stay overnight in Hamnøy, I was fortunate to secure a spot in the nearby restaurant Gados, where I enjoyed some delicious local cuisine and concluded the day.
It pays to get up early in the morning. Now yesterday it was quite overcast here in Lofoten Island, the southern part of Lofoten Island. In the north it was raining. And just around maybe 3 in the morning, it totally cleared up and the sun came out. So I got up at 3:45 today to kind of enjoy the early morning here on Lofoten Island. My ferry leaves at 7, so that gives me enough time to see this area in a different light again. It's 4:30 now, so I'm leaving my accommodation, which is amazing. This doesn't look like much from the outside, but it's just a room with shared bathrooms. But it was a beautiful house, I have to say. And right next to it is the restaurant to my right, which was also awesome. It's usually booked out, but since my time schedule's moved forward so much, I got in there at 5 and had no problem getting a table. So now I'm gonna see sort of the southern area here for a little bit before I have to catch my ferry. Quite a beautiful drive in the morning. It's about 6 o'clock now, and I'm heading to my ferry, which is only a few minutes from here. It's really close. To my left is Rhine, and I'm just circling that little bay here. There's still that smell of the stockfish. They're just heads that they have out here. So the ferry ride is going to take me 3 hours and 15 minutes. There's 2 different ferries. There's longer ones, the 4-hour ferry. The quickest one is the 3-hour 15. It doesn't go every hour, but only every few hours it goes to Bodø, which is then on the mainland of Norway. So I have 3 hours and 15 minutes to spend on the ferry and grab some breakfast and some coffee. The full length of the tour is 414 kilometers. It's gonna be a full day of riding again. The next thing I'm gonna see in Bodø shortly after is Saltstraumen. That is the strongest tidal current in the world. And I timed it in a way that I could see it in this sort of biggest effect, because there's 4 times a day where you can see that. And there are times, of course, when you see nothing, basically when the tide's evened, then there's no current. And by the time I should get there at around 11, it should be at the strongest. I'll be there right before that. So it'll be interesting to see what that looks like. It's under a bridge, so you can go onto a bridge and have a look at that. It's a beautiful day. Quite a different scenery from yesterday, where it was overcast and, raining in the beginning of the day. And this is a beautiful morning. It's still 11 degrees, just like yesterday, but it feels quite a bit warmer because the sun is out. Yesterday I was getting quite a bit cold, especially after riding in the rain and then in that overcast condition. Right now it's actually quite comfortable. And up on here on Mount Rhine or something, but that's for hikers. I saw hikers up there. So if you leave early in the morning, you get a beautiful view of this entire area here. So I'm exactly 45 minutes before departure. And they have different lanes, so I have to be between 8 and 11 for the reserved.
Bike secured. Back here, and it's 3 hours 15 minutes from now on.
Here we are. Back on the mainland. I arrived on time in Bodø. It's a bit nicer here. It's 14 degrees. The sun's coming out. There's actually quite a bit of cloud cover just north of here. The south where I'm going looks pretty good for right now. Anyway, the timing worked out perfectly, and I should be in Saltstraumen very soon. 10 minutes before the peak tidal current. Let's see what that looks like.
Saltstraumen, located near Bodø in northern Norway, has one of the strongest tidal currents in the world. Approximately 400 million cubic meters of seawater surge through a 3 kilometer long and 150 meter wide strait every 6 hours. During its peak, vortices known as whirlpools or maelstroms can form, reaching diameters up to 10 meters and depth of 5 meters with speeds up to 40 kilometers an hour. To witness this phenomenon at its peak, visitors can consult a current table. Like all tidal currents, Saltstraumen is strongest just after the new and full moon. There are 3 ways for visitors to witness the mesmerizing power of Saltstraumen. They can go for a walk on the Saltstraumen Bridge, which passes right above the narrow strait. There are footpaths on both sides of the bridge, making it easy to look straight down onto the massive currents. For a closer look, there are many viewpoints along the shoreline that are easily accessible as well. The third option is to catch a ride on one of the many boats that will bring spectators right up close to the vortices and take them through the narrow strait under the bridge.
Spent about a good hour on this road, which is now taking me along the coastline, Norway. On all my awesome planning, if I got a ferry connection, which I'm standing at right now, and it's just a short connection that goes across here. It's not going until 4 o'clock. It only goes 3 times a day, even during the week. So there's a detour, route number 17. I'm going to take that. So it's not the end of the world, but I was a bit surprised. It's like, okay, it's not a ferry. I marked all the ferry spots, but good thing is there's another way. It's like the dogs driving. This is a nice scenic detour from the ferry I was going to take. Much nicer. Curved roads. This next ferry! God, that was a close call. I really had to see if I can still get on. Okay, I thought I had to hurry up.
You're staying in that place, just out of board.
Okay, good. So yeah, I was like panicking I wouldn't catch this because I think the next one leaves in an hour and 40 minutes. So that would have been, didn't want to wait here for that long. Good timing.
As I watched the beautiful scenery pass me by, it would be during this ferry ride departing from Jektvik that I would once again cross the Arctic Circle.
Well, I'm about 70 kilometers out, an hour out from my accommodation tonight. I made pretty good time because I caught all the ferries just in the nick of time. It's quite warm now, it's 18 degrees. I'm almost a little dressed too warm. Well, I'm going too slow, either one of those two. I'll be in my accommodation before 5. That means it was still a long day. I mean, I started riding at 4:30.
So, got my room just a few meters from here. So this is it. This is the place, and it's time to unpack.
I'm in Nesna this morning on a pretty big campground. I had no idea how big it was when I booked it, but the benefit of that place is it's very close to the harbor, as you can see, and that's for my ferry lease at 8:15, so I'll have a bit more time to fuel up the bike, maybe get up a coffee. And I slept for a long time. I was quite tired from getting up so early the night before, and there wasn't really much to do here anyway, so I had a bit of a later start today, got up at 6 and my ferry leaves at 8:15, so I still have some time. It's somewhere down there. Today's forecast is going to be very hot, at least 25 degrees. If I'm correct, it could be more. It's already warm. It's 21 degrees. Oh, what a view. Oh, come on, punk. Thank you. Like the guy. First the motorcycle, right? Here we go. 311 kilometers for today. Along the Route 17 with 4 ferry connections. Let's see how long that takes. 21 degrees is quite nice. I just checked the weather again on my destination for the day. 29 degrees. That's absolutely insane considering that 2 days ago I was freezing my ass off at, 11 degrees in the rain on Lofoten Island. Yeah, it's not something you see every day. Cows on the beach. So here we are, my second ferry. Well, plenty of time to catch the next ferry. It'll be the 3rd out of 4. So I'm spending a lot of time on the water today on different ferries. 29 degrees. It's fucking insane. Thank you. It looks like I got here on time, which is nice.
So sometimes it doesn't work that you load you first. Well, I'm in the front. That's all I got.
Some of the nicest roads of the day because they're smaller, a bit curvy. Very neat. I think this might be my ferry coming in. This is what I should be wearing.
Yeah, it's not that fine.
Oh, it's too warm. Wait,
Long trip.
it was a long trip. Where are you from?
I'm a local. I'm just on the work.
Okay. Now I went through Finland to Nordkapp,
Okay.
and now I'm coming all the way down the coastline.
Alone?
Yeah, it's just me. Well, you're never really alone if you're on a motorcycle. Well, get home all right? Nice to meet you. It's the last 55 kilometers until I get to my hotel, which would be sort of the earliest arrival I've had so far. Looks like I'm entering another really scenic section here. Bridges, water, trees, rocks, and a nice curvy road that goes right through the middle of all of it. Well, I've got another 12 minutes. And then I'll be hitting my accommodation for tonight.